So good morning. This is my, I got this table. This is the Arrow Gidget 2 table. I acquired it at a good price, used. So of course then it didn't come with the insert. And inserts are kind of expensive. I found on Pinterest someone was like, oh, you can use like these foam core boards. Foam core boards, like see it's foam. And I was like, well, how do you do that? So I went to Michael's and I acquired, these are not foam core boards. These are foam core dry erase boards, which means that they have this like really shiny surface. And then they're actually a little bit stiffer than the regular foam core boards that people use for projects and stuff. And they were also more expensive, more than twice as expensive. But I mean, that's relative. I think at Michael's they were like 2 for $18. So you're still talking about $9 for a board versus, you know, $100. Let me see if I can get the thing. Elmer's dry erase foam board. 2 boards, and they're like 2 by 30, 20 by 30. This opening is roughly 24 inches by like 12 3/4 or something. So what I did was I measured this. I measured this opening, and I cut the foam core board down. So here are the 2 pieces from cutting it down, and you can still kind of barely see. Sorry for the lighting in here. My overhead lighting is defunct, and it's a gray day outside. You can see the markings. So I cut down the board to fit the whole space. And then how do I make this tracing? Because this, sorry for the shaky camera, this Viking has a whole platform underneath, so you can't like just trace the free arm. I had a table from Viking, but the table is kind of funny. So then what I did was I took a piece of paper and I put it over the free arm and I traced the shape of the free arm. Traced the shape of the free arm, right? So I had a tracing that was the shape of this free arm. And then to get the distance from here to here, I was like, well, how far do I need it to be from the edge so that I have enough room for like the power cord and everything? And then I kind of eyeballed it. And I figured at 2 for $18, if one of my foam core boards was terrible, and I have to throw it at still only $10. So even if I only got one insert out of it, I'm still $20 versus $100 for the acrylic inserts. And it's pretty sturdy. It's not an acrylic insert, so I'm like, you can't like, I'm sure you can't like put a cup here or something, but you shouldn't do that anyway. You know, you shouldn't put a lot of weight on your acrylic insert because they can shatter. You know, I have an acrylic extension table from my old table, because the problem is that I'm very short. So that's why I wanted a lower table, because I'm very short. So yeah, anyway, so then I flipped this upside down because one side's paper, and then I traced it on, because I traced on the shape of the free arm, and then I cut it out, and then I traced it on to the back of this, and then I cut it out. Now I'm cutting it out with a box cutter, so, you know, a box cutter, so it's not the neatest thing, and you can see that there are, you know, kind of jagged edges, and it's not very neat, you know. And I had to then realize that I needed, for this Viking, the way the bobbin is, I needed to make an extra little thing here. But I think, you know, for the first time I've ever done anything like this, I think it turned out really well. So that's an extra idea for you. If you manage to acquire a table like this that has an insert to drop down your machine. There's my Janome Muffling Matt that fits perfectly on the sledge, by the way. I have another muffling mat that was way too big. I have 2 muffling mats because I have 2 machines. But it helps vibrate. I don't know why I have it. I just have it, I guess. Maybe it's not necessary, but I have it. They're not expensive. I like it. For no reason, maybe, but I like it. Anyway, so if you have a table like this that has a a ledge, a drop down, and you're like, gosh, I need a custom table. I need a custom insert to make this kind of flush, and this is pretty darn flush. This one is really flush with the table. It makes a very good surface. And it's really shiny, so it's like really, really smooth. This is a good way to do it. And it's really, really cheap. So now quilt away. How do I like this table? I mean, it's what I can afford. I have another table over here, this cute dining table thing that I got from Ikea, but then when I finished it, see, I finished it and I stained it and I put the poly coating on it. What's that, polyacrylic coating or whatever it is? Polyurethane coating, and it's like, oh, I like it so much now. See how pretty it turned out, and I'm like, oh, it makes the wood grain, and I can't cut a hole in this. So that's when I got the other table. Sorry for the camera work. It's my cell phone. See, I like finished this table. This was an Ikea table, Ingo table, and I stained it, and then I put polyacrylic on it to make it smooth, and it's so pretty. I was like, I cannot cut a hole in this. So then I found this Gidget table used for a very good price. Then you need this insert. So I searched Pinterest and sewing boards, and people were like, oh, you can use these foam core boards. And I was like, oh, how's that going to work? But hey, if the foam core board fails, I'm only out like 20 bucks or less if you use the regular foam core boards and not these dry erase foam core boards. But I like the dry erase better because it's a little sturdier, very smooth surface. So there you go. There's an idea for you. You can give it a try if you need to do something like this. So anyway, I hope you get something out of this tip and enjoy your happy sewing and things. Bye.